Okay, so let's explore few more entry in the SnappyHexMesh file. Okay, so what we till now look at is how to control the surface based refinement and the features based refinement. Let's now apply let's say if we want to apply boundary layer type of the mesh, then what one has to do. So let's quickly try to check that class of applications. Okay, so for that let me go to the area. Okay, so this is our tutorial. Okay, so here also maybe we required couple of more cases, so let me create few more case here. Case 1. Okay, let me keep everything inside the case 1. Okay, and let me copy few files from. Okay, so then case 2. Case 4. Okay, so let's start with the case number 1. So here we try to explore how to define the boundary layer type of the mesh. Okay, so definitely we have to extract the features. So same thing we're going to do here. First we clean the case. Okay, then we try to extract the features. So we extracting the features, then block mesh. Okay, and let's look at the our SMatrix file. So in the previous all cases we didn't add the layers. Okay, here we are adding the layer. That thing we are doing. We have a surface based refinement, and let's say refinement level equal to 4. If you want, we go with that. Okay, and features. Okay, let's start with the basic layers. So let it be 0 only. Okay, later on we increase. Then resolution we didn't change. Okay, then in the this snap control, everything perfectly all right. From the layering part we didn't change anything. Okay, so here is all the layers by default setting, and we want the 6th layer on our mesh. Okay, and we can go with a features angle equal to 130. Okay, so later on we can go and change this angle. Let's say start with something like lesser value. Okay, so it give you the idea what exactly the meaning of this particular thing. Okay, features angle, let it be lower value. Okay, and then let's look at the boundary layer class of the mesh with the help of this. So let's construct the mesh. Okay, so let me first go to the previous case, and let's say case number 1. Okay, so same setting, only in the case number 1 we add this extra layer. Okay, so that is what we did here. So here let me again run the case number 1 of the previous tutorial for comparison point of view. Okay, so we try to compare with layer and without layer mesh first. Okay, so paraform. So let's go to the last part and first check the mesh how it's look like. Here we go. Okay, so this is our basic mesh, and let's partition it. Okay, let's partition this also. Here let's open our next test case, that is with layer body fitted mesh. Okay, so what difference you observe, let's see very quickly. So let's open the file. Case number 1, go to the last entry. Want only surface. Okay, so we have a surface wise we have a same mesh. Okay, but there is a few difference we have. So if you go back and activate the internal mesh, okay, here as well as here. Okay, sorry. So here if we go back and activate the internal mesh, and then we, let's say, slice the plane. Okay, so if we slice the plane in Z direction, okay, and don't triangulate the surfaces. Okay, this is our ellipse, that what we captured with the help of that, and this is the all the element warping our surface. Okay, let's do the same thing here. Cut the slice in the Z direction. Okay, and don't do the triangulation, and here is this edge. So look, this is the difference you can see. Okay, so when we add the layer, let's go with this one, so it is better way. Okay, so look, this is without layer mesh, and this is with the applied layer mesh. Okay, so this is how we can apply the layer in it. Okay, so this is with layer, and that is without layer class of the mesh. Okay, and now let me look at the X direction plane. Okay, so let's X plane. Okay, on here. Okay, but X plane I want to move little bit inside, so exactly something like, let's say 2.25. okay, so it is fine. So look, this is almost cutting the edge. Okay, so let me open the surface so you understand neatly where exactly I cut. Okay, so this is how I cut, almost passing through, plane is passing through this area. Okay, and let me create opaqueness. Okay, so this is how one can see the layer is look like. Okay, so this is how one can check the layers and how it's look like entry. Okay, so let's do few more modification here. So let look at our basic control over here. Okay, so snap control we don't want to change, we have to change at this add layer control options. Okay, so this is all add layer control options. So here if we can say relative true and relative false. Okay, so let's look at this first change. So for that, let me go to the second test case. Okay, and let me open this file. Okay, so I want relative calculation as a true. Okay, so what is the difference? Okay, so how true and false parameter going to change the scenario? Let's look at that thing very quickly. Okay, so if you look at here, this is our mesh, what we get here. Okay, from where this entry is coming. Okay, from here, fine. So this is our mesh look like at present. Okay, with the relative false. Okay, so let me change this to the relative true. Add layer. Okay, so let's say let it be a true. Okay, what exactly the variation we get out of it. Okay, let's go to the area of case number 2. So we have to extract the features and run all the commands. Okay, so look, after this we get a 6 layers. Okay, so let's look at how it will look like in the paraform. So for that, let's compare with the last one and this one. Okay, so in the paraform, I am saying last one in this one, that means let first understand few things. So if we look at here, this is what we gave as a surface resolutions 224. Okay, so let me open the previous tutorial case where we also gave the similar setting. So in here maybe at 3 or some places we gave the similar type of the setting. So let me quickly run that case as well. Okay, so it give us the idea exactly. So but here we don't have a this all layers created in this mesh. Okay, so where is the difference? We quickly first observe, then go towards few more entry here. Okay, so this is the mesh is created for this, and let me first open from that area. So case number 3. Okay, so let's open from the previous tutorial case number 3. Go to the last value and check things. Okay, so this is what we have here. Okay, so this is the last entry and this is the current one. So here let open current one, and here let's open this one. Okay, so look, few almost similar type of the mesh, but here we have a little bit better refinement. Okay, but idea is that we able to capture, but in this view we cannot distinguish either there is a layer or not. Okay, for that let me cut the plane in the Z direction. Okay, so it gives us the idea exactly either we have a layer mesh or not. Okay, so sorry, because we only have a surface activated. Okay, so let me activate internal part. With that you have a internal mesh here. Okay, same way for this thing we also have to activate the internal mesh. So let's first incorporate internal mesh here. Okay, and here let's also do the slicing. Okay, Z, we don't want this, let it be a plane. Okay, and let's look at the differences. So if you look at here, look, in the previous case we don't have a body fitted layer, but in this case we have a nice layer mesh. Okay, so we gave a 6th layer over the surface, and that is constructed here very nicely. Okay, so that is the difference. Here we have, let's go to few more differences. Okay, so it gives us the exact idea. Okay, so let me create multiple views. Okay, so let this is our case 1. This is the without any layer. Okay, so I am removing this part because it is understood now. So let me delete this for comparison point of view. So we have a first layered mesh. Okay, now let's also look at in another cross section, so we have a better idea. Let's say we put in the y direction, sorry, x direction. Okay, and then see how it look like. Okay, so this is the mesh. Okay, that is look like this way. Okay, now let's look at few more entry here. So here we add the layer, but relative size equal to false. Okay, so if we keep the relative size equal to true, then what it going to happen? Then what are the boundary layer mesh is developed. Okay, it is related to the size of the cell next to the surface. Okay, so based on the surface size it try to grow the layer. So let's quickly have a feeling how exactly it's look like. So for that let's go to the case number 2 from this tutorial. Okay, so I already created the mesh. Okay, so let's quickly check what difference here we have. Okay, so in this SnappyHacks mesh everything is same. Okay, we have a 2 to 4 layer, features 60 only. Okay, so only we change here as a relative true. Okay, along with that I change few more things like expansion, let it be same, but final thickness 0.5 and this is 0.01. Okay, in the previous case it is false, and final layer is 0.025 and this one 0.05. With the same setting, if you try to run with the true, it will not going to grow the layers, okay, because somewhere it is following the criteria, because now they are checking with the cell near cell that is near to the surface, and that criteria is not appropriate. So sometime we have to leverage this value to higher side, and with the help of that, and when you try to run the case, we able to get a very nice mesh out of it. Okay, so let me go to the area where we want to run the case number 2. Okay, so let me first clean the case and apply all the command, so we quickly run the case. Okay, meanwhile it's running, let me copy this required file. Here, okay, right. Case number 3, not 2 we require. Okay, so let's see. So here also we grow a 6th layer, but what is the difference we quickly observe. Okay, so let's open the case first. So go to the area, second, sorry, we are at wrong locations, so go to the here and second and do that. Okay, so this is the internal mesh. I exactly cut the plane at the same location, let's say 0.2 x normal. Okay, I don't want triangulate mesh, and let's see what is the difference we get here. Look, based on the size, okay, of this near the cell, it try to grow the layer. So look, here we have a uniform, everywhere you have a uniform cell size near wall. Okay, if you look at, go anywhere. So let's look at proper view. Okay, so in this view, let me keep this same view here. Okay, so you understand. Look, when you see the near wall, here you have everywhere same mesh, but here look, growth is completely different. So based on the near cell size, it try to grow. Okay, so everywhere we have different. So if you are expecting that every wall near first cell height is uniform, then keep this value, which value equal to false. If you make it relative equal size equal to true, then you're going to get this class of the mesh. Okay, so if you don't want this type of the mesh, then let it be a relative size equal to false. Okay, and we get a very nice everywhere same size element. Okay, so that is the idea behind that. Okay, and let's explore few more thing here. With the help of, let's say, angle, we have another entry here is the feature angle. Okay, so if you remember, if you look at here, let go with the let's say relative equal to false. Okay, so let's create a one more test case with case equal to 2. So let me first delete this because it is better. So let's say where we have a this better mesh, that means this mesh. Okay, now with this mesh, let's change the features angle. What is the features angle I'm talking is, I'm talking about feature angle is about this. Okay, so if you go to for higher to lower side, okay, we losing the information from this corner, that is the idea. Okay, if you want to retain the layer even at near the corner, then you have to go with a higher angle resolutions. Okay, so let's first do the meshing, then you understand. So let me copy this case into the third one. Okay, and let's go to that area. Let me clean the case first. So okay, case number, and let's open the SnappyX files. So boundary, everything is same, we are just changing few parameters, so you have idea. So relative size equal to false, that means we are hoping this class of the mesh. Okay, and I don't want 130 as angle. Okay, let's say this angle is supposed to be something like 30. Okay, so very low angles, and let's execute the command so you understand what exactly the happening with this class of thing. Let's extract the features and try to do that. So case number 3. Okay, so let's see how the boundary layer look like with this new options. Okay, so that is the idea. It may take little bit time. Okay, almost done. So look, in the previous case, if we remember, we have a layer equal to 6. Now look, layer equal to, even though we specify 6 layer, it's reduced to some different value. So that means there is definitely some change in the mesh generation. So let quickly check what is the difference we got in this mesh. So let's open here, case number 3. Okay, and I am cutting the slice at the same locations. Okay, I don't want this, I want 0.2 is the location, and I'm cut the slice. And let's look at this and H. So look, if you look at this corner, you understand here we have a nicely warped mesh, layer mesh even near the corner. So when you decrease this value, which value? These features, okay, it's not able to capture the features that is more than 30-degree angle. Okay, so if you want very nice features capturing, then let this angle is higher side. So in that way you have a nice features you able to capture. Okay, so everywhere we have, look, nice layer, but here we are losing the information near the corner. But here, even at the corner also, we will get a very nice layer mesh. Okay, so that is the idea behind this. So this is how you can play with this features options. Okay, so this is few options one has to take into account as far as the layer is concerned. Very important aspect, either relative size true or false. So if you are expecting near all the surfaces you require uniform first cell height, then kept is false. Okay, then this is expansion ratio, layer thickness and the minimum thickness, or you can go with the first layer thickness size. Okay, and this, but make sure with the help of this, maybe it will fail, then you have to tune this parameter. Okay, and it will going to work. Okay, then number of layers. Okay, if you have multiple surface, then for each surface you can change the layers, expansion ratio and all this entry. But let's say here you activate minimum thickness and final layer and expansion ratio, so same entry you can tune here. You cannot then go with the first layer thickness. Okay, whatever you set globally, locally for each surface you can change it, as well as number of layer also you can change it. Okay, so all this thing you can able to do very quickly. And this is the difference if you have a false. Okay, sorry, if you have a true, then based on the cell size, the near wall element is going to change. Okay, but if you have false, then everywhere you have a very nice layer. And if you work with the features angle extraction, that means if you are changing the features angle here from 130 to 30-degree, then you are losing this corner information. That means at the corner we are not allowing to grow the very nice this boundary layers. Okay, so this is how one can control the development of layers on the different surfaces. Okay, so we create the layers, but let's say we want to visualize inside the paraform. That means what is its thickness and at which surface how many number of layers is developed. Then in the SnappyX mesh file, at the end we have a one certain flags. Okay, so in right now in all the SnappyX it is activated, but if you want you can switch off it, and required only you can switch on it. Okay, so it will give you certain things. Scalar level, right, volume scalar field for cell level for post processing. Okay, then write cell set, face set for faces in layers, layer sets, and layer field for layer convergence. Okay, so if you have this flag enable, what's going to happen is something like this way. After a mesh is created, just go to our last time directory. Why there is a multiple time directory, one for Castle mesh, one for Snap mesh, and one for add layer mesh. Okay, and why it is 1 2 3, because if you look at in the control dict file, we gave the time steps equal to 1. Okay, so that's why we have this directory. And at the end, when the mesh is created, we supposed to copy whatever the last one. Okay, in this case is the third one, then we supposed to copy the last one into the polymesh file. And if you don't want to do that, then while the this snappyhex is creating the mesh, you can add this flag value here. Okay, so I will show you later on. First let's look at how that right flag give us certain values. So if right flag is enabled, look, this certain volume field is written. Okay, so let's look at for the our patch. Okay, wall patch. Okay, on the wall patch, let's say we want to look at what is the n surface layer. So in each surface, what's supposed to be the layers. So if you want to look at that, it give us quickly the idea. Okay, about that, let me switch on everything, and from here let's select number of layers. So we gave the 6 layers, so everywhere it is a 6 layer. Let's say in you gave for different page different layer, then it will show you the different layer here. Okay, let's say we want to see the thickness. Okay, so you can quickly check what is the thickness of the first cell. Okay, immediately. So at some places it is low, and at some places is high. Why it is so? Because if you look at here, we have a larger mesh size here, we have a smaller mesh size here. So wherever the larger mesh size, there you get a different thickness. Okay, so that is what you can visualize from here. Okay, so sometime it is handy to observe what is going on. So let's again rerun this case, but this time we try to directly keep the entire mesh inside the polymesh file. If you don't want to do use this copy command, then you have to do certain things. So let me show you. Let's first extract the features, then block mesh. Okay, and here snappyhex, along with this snappyhex, okay, we write write overwrite options. Okay, when you write overwrite, immediately the mesh file is converted here. That means, let me delete this polymesh file. Okay, so sorry, that folder, because we delete the block mesh, that's why it's giving us error. So let me first do the block mesh. Okay, then let it do. So after this, immediately the file, that means final mesh, is copied inside the polymesh area, and you can directly start working on it. Okay, so here we have a number of layers. Okay, and sometime it is always good to check create patch override. That means if there is a some leftover patch, okay, it will be removed if it is there. Okay, so that is the idea behind that. Cannot sorry, few things required, so I will show you in some other tutorial how exactly it work. Okay, few setting is not there for create patch options. Okay, but anyway, what I mean to say is that if you don't write the overwrite command, okay, then the file you have to manually copy. So whatever the last file we have right now, it is overwrite, so we're not getting the different time entry. It directly went inside the polymesh area. Okay, so everything is here. So look, again there is a difference in running the case. Okay, so let's do it again. So if I don't use overwrite options, okay, then block mesh, I am not using the overwrite options. Okay, so if you don't use overwrite options, what going to happen is something like this way. In this area you get a 1 2 3 folder. First folder for castile mesh, snap mesh, second folder, third folder for the layered mesh, and we supposed to copy the last one, that is the latest time directory, inside the polymesh area. Okay, and then our mesh is ready to go. Okay, so but if you work with overwrite command, okay, it automatically copy the required file inside the polymesh area. So that is better way to do that. Okay, and you not get this multiple directory here, but this is right now we are just understanding, that's why we are outputting all the information here. Okay,